So I was talking about what I perceive as part of the problem of getting bumped is I was on the way to the general doctor to get to jump through the hoops, to get surgical clearance from the general doctor to do the bunion surgery because I met out of pocket, and to position myself better financially to do this surgery now that has a timing in it, okay? I'm part and parcel of playing the hyphenated game for this reason. I don't get paid to be earnest, even. Okay? Not even on the stage, not even Oscar Wilde, not even, you know what I mean? I'm not positioning myself on the stage because I don't want that stage screwed against me, ultimately to die with war. Um, to restore the sore that it can only restore because that's what it lent tit. So, but I have to say, with the downward economy and living well below the poverty line, that I am a person that has somewhat ingrained in me to use coupons, which I've learned to start to detest, especially Joann's fabric. Oh my God. Never seen such a heinous dancing, dirty dancing as Joann's coupons. Uh, Coupons or to search for things that are on sale, at least to be modest in terms of timing. If there's something I really want, I can save up for it, or I can stock it in the sense of if it goes on sale and it's in my size, it's meant for me. So, I mean, at least I've used that rationalization in cross-examination of the thief in marketplace to merit my means as to spend money in it, NIT. Um, to, in some ways, buoy my time here, where it's difficult to get through if there's no one to talk to. Okay? And all you get for being shined and shinned in, fishing in, hyphenated, is more encumbrance. So, um, that's part of me getting bumped. I was already being yanked to be and not able to mainstream what's most important to me by being in two places. Yet I think I am put in the crosshairs and crossroads of two places because I'm trying to consolidate. All right? I'm artificially put in, as with everyone else here in society, in an artificial container doffed to toff for no reason was ever sought. So for me as a woman to produce this on my own, I already have working guilt, G-ILL-T, time and doffed, to toffed, for no reason. I already had that against me being in the marketplace, and then my free time is used against me on occasion by those people that are cast aspersions because they desire to be a more pronounced thief end on my time. And so I have my free time used against me, even if it's from a previous employer, such as Kevin Stein, that he's spying on me in terms of what I'm doing on my free time. He's like, oh no, I'm not sustaining you for that. Like, yes, I get that you are a virtuous Christian, you have a machine shop, and you make items for war to restore your air, HEIR, and your foyer with daily bread in it, for no reason you ever thought Toft would be brought. And you're penalizing every woman on your vanity that you continue to seek as previously sought and have tossed and have screwed and call it wedded virtue. So your couple pled off is your coup. Your war taking. You're actually making the war as a couple. and you are more than willing to cast me down as the person that has brought no virtue to be sound, as you wait for your crown that you have no capacity to produce. I'll scratch my head for you, okay? Thought makes me start to itch. I itch, you get to itch B-L-A-C-K-T. Again. That's the way it goes down here. So yeah, I'm reviewing some of the videos I have and pictures and getting them up, and I'm thinking that, you know, I can say I'm being yanked around, I'm doing my best. And my best is whom I'm betting on, and that's me. B-E parentheses S-T. Obviously, I've been doing this for years, okay? And to my merit as me screwing the T-O-M parentheses B-E parentheses A-D to be bred and read, to my merit, I understand that I am the head. If you want to get ahead of me, then you're a jackass. Which is quite ironic and the opposite of my position in the competitive marketplace for no reason. Thief end, just talked to Samantha at Geico. I am presumably guilty for speaking, because apparently she sees me as not being able to back it up and thus black it up, and yet it's her sire and conspire ironic O-mission that she's sustaining income for no reason, for money to be spread a dab about the land, and call it innocence in giving, and then a reason to spout off. And I'm saying that's not go odd enough here, and sheer, and heard, okay? The HD. H parentheses E-A-R-D. The head and the hand is in the ear of what you want to be. A-D. I'm not, as best I can, I'm not seeking to have an omission in terms of what I don't understand, in terms of my true position, and understand its merit to land and to lend, even hand. So that's part of me documenting everything. And even the things that are normal, everyday stuff, there's a meta in it that some of you out there are creating children to be thief-end on your own ID that's hyphenated. You don't have the same meta, okay? And you're not actually endeavoring yourself to cross time. You're actually seeking to stand doffed, doff tone, as the ass you supplied. So when you have no foundation and you're getting naked for no reason, you're tooling a look, much like a cue pawn. And then you have kids as a woman. Well, what this does for you is it forges the go all as the god. Okay, but it's hyphenated. So again, you're just staging witness by first making a malfeasant decision. You're not actually making love in follow through even. You're making it in follow through thief end. You don't care to think about it, therefore your love is lust. And in lust, You dow with war to trust your fucking jacked off emotions to restore the sore that you lent it to be the bort. Okay. Yay. Great. You're re-eating the same hyphenated shit you tup and sup as if you would have, and I am clearly buying the fence. Would have has arrived. So you can't ply that trade anymore. I would have. Or would have supplied. No, would have has already supplied, so get in line and in time. If you want to, heave and head in hand supply. You will. At any given time. Time and prime and dimed. Why? Because I am the time. I make the time. I take the time. So there's the following the insurance insurgency. But I need this surgery on my two bunions on my left foot. I've got a bunion on each side. Fiscally do it now. Chase that little ping pong, little hoop jumping trail I need to get to make everything happen. That pulls on my time. Getting bumped by a thief end who belligerently stands to insipidly buck up. More stupidity to maintain his LO-AT. And what else? Then I've got the container of affection, and Rick, honestly, you giving me that fiddle of emotion and Wanda, I don't know if I could ever part with, what I've done to her. I'm like, you know what? Stop the bullshit. I have not been getting to my emails on a daily basis, so I noticed that you sent me 2 in the same day, and then I was kind of like, oh, for God's sake. Jesus Christ, just fucking fuck. Jesus, fuck. Fuck. My response is not to respond. That's my first response, but I put the response on Twitter, and it'll eventually make its way to the website. I can't take on your fucking emotions for no reason. You're not ahead of me, and you're not behind me unless you're in Tintine and line. TL, total loss, we're losing zeros without hyphens. You snooze, you well lose. On my frame, if the thief ends aren't paying attention, and even if they are, they still lose. Because I sussed that out, that's the way to reverse what your hyphen has done to my time, even. Done one, done home, DH, designated hitter, Doctrine of Humanities. My dome mends itself as my home, so you're jacking doffed on me. Your sympathy of things that have gone bad, well, let's just understand. You, Megan Kelly, for one, have stood competition around the land to regain its hyphenated hand. And then you tear and tear, port thing that you are, as you cast the same cast to be the port thing that's competed upon. Okay? So it's only due to my legitimate ability and strength to stand in place, because that's where I know I exactly need to stand to make a difference on comma and D. No date. No date without hyphens. Meaning no date equals a time for completion even, not for competition thief end. So it's kind of ironic that I get sandwiched by an insurance company that's telling me that, basically, even if I put 360 degrees on it, me to speak on their time, that they continue to fornicate on to earn their lie. I mean life, is to espouse and spout toft that they brought innocence, as they're casting an LO-T, toft, a lotto, toft, hyphenated. It's embellishing the lie with a personality and personal choice that you've never given. And you can't even perceive and you can't conceive either, it would seem, to the means that seeked. Tit to be ad, and to bed, and to endow it, even. Stead the head, okay? STE, that's the female saint. So we've not had the choice yet, and to say that you have is the epitome of standing doff to get toff, to assay your rate and your say, and to have it steaded and studded by the stub you born to date. Now the other thing to consider with that is what's happening here when Jack Doft speaks on me. He's trying to use me as a bride for every Jack Doft, okay? That's the underlying psychology of that. So by speaking Jack Doft on me, that there would always be a Jack Doft to collaborate with Jack Doft. Even if I bring witness to it, insurance company is banked. K-T. Your money, your time for completion, once it hits the bank, dows with war and turns in time for competition thief end. So they're bringing the weight of we are a business -T with the law -T, and this jackass who we're going to respect because our law says to, because the law made him sustainable thief end, with no will to be anything other than thief end, because why would he do it except that he wanted to, and wanted to is motivated by love, which he didn't think to do of. I did. Okay? Basically, the bottom line of standing doffed is so you could get doffed back, all right? And your tin and tine. Tin is your money. Your pate, it's your head, your plate, that's the love you ate, it's hyphenated. It is bullshit to think that you thought of two, that you brought two L's by thinking of one, even, EWE. And colloquially speaking, why EWEYOU. I like that the sound of you is the spelling of EWE, and it's also the spelling of YEW, which is a tree. Part of it's poisonous. To me, it's an allegory of choosing. Your competitive marketplace, for no reason, has never provided a choice. So get off your religion, get off your high horse, get off of Samantha, like, I'm going to hang up on you if you're swearing, because you only have politeness, -T, Samantha at Geico. So don't you ever, ever chide someone for swearing when you've only brought malfeasant time to stand on as your malfeasant dime, to toss your tooth to get it back, hyphenated and blacked in time, that there would never be a heir, H-E-I-R, among you, that Jews and goos, gewgaw, the showy worthless thing and the guaranteed annual wage, to get it screwed to you. To toy you with wood, have? No, you wouldn't. And you can't. And I can both inform you of that and show it to you. Okay? Why you can't? Because you're not the time too. You can't go ahead. Malfeasant jacked off, no matter what he says to make shit up on me. I take it to my frame, this is what we understand. He has nowhere honestly to go. He can't go ahead. So quite ironically, he is guilty. He is guilty for casting a tone on me and not looking to be AD. Now, the converse of your insurance is based on backing DOFT, statistically speaking. Okay, in the same money and the tin and the time that you placed him. So please understand your insurance statistically is skewed, that you will always be married to dudes that are hyphenated and they stand off to get TOFT. TOFT, when you marry TOFT, he's standing on DOFT. He's not standing on value he brought. He's standing on stupid. That is your LO-T. And when we talk about lanes and merging, if you don't want me fucking in your competitive marketplace for no reason, you need to stay out of mine. Spiritually, factually, rationally, relationally, faith-driven, okay? Prime and dimed. And over time, because I have no boundaries, just like competition for no reason thiefing has no boundaries, we're going to start seeing you for your true value with your own name. You don't get to associate with DOFT and fall back on DOFT stupid to bring your lot stupid so you can get laid stupid. You don't get to do that anymore. Well, you can do it, but just let you know that there's going to be people that want to see, and they're going to see you what you would do for and forward malfeasantly to restore a sore. And you call it amour, you call it love, that you get to break and DOFT stupid. Sorry, it's just not going to float here anymore. What's exciting for me, I would hope, is I get to shift the scope and I can start doing more of what I want to do instead of presenting you to you. You need to stay in your lane. Apparently, you can't see me when I'm merging because you don't want to. You want to keep casting Jack DOFT on me, thiefing through. That's my only use to you, and I am a symbolic use to every woman that would desire to. You can't speak of value anymore. Whether you believe in God or not, you can't speak of the value of desiring relationship. You're not, love is real work, okay? It's not just going, oh, you make me feel so hot and sexy, let's have a fucking baby at, what, I don't know, pick your age. I know so much, I'm just going to have a sprout and then I'm going to have the bigger spotlight on me, right? You know who I'm talking about, come on. You know who I'm talking about that probably spends hours planning about how you're going to do your makeup that day before you make your selfie. And get your horde of admirers to spout TOFT tone on you because you look flawless. To be screwed to dudes dowling with war. You're made up to restore the sore and in trust you lust, or in lust you trust. Doesn't matter, it's still the same bust and butt. It's hyphenated. And you're not the foundation, so I'll be also whittling on your presumable core and score, okay? Overtime, yes. All I have is time. And Doft, stupid, he can't fit up my ass. And that's apparent to the last. So I still have a video going, but it's on pause, so I'll add that. I was saying that the bu and bust is going to have to come through the either of us. There is that of fuss in there. Either of us and also the but, okay? So the value of the positioning here as a converse of the competitive marketplace thief end is you have two frame and doff to two top men that cut both ends on the women, the back and the front, and they're backing tit top in black, okay, with hyphens, kind of like they're presuming origin is downing with war so they could pull it out of their ass to cast it forward, and those two ends they cut with omend, okay? I get sandwiched in doft to two toft, all right, or doft and doft, or doft that's making up God that is as stupid as doft, okay? We have a different orientation here, Freeman D-O-F-F, and I believe the value is we have two women on both ends. So in essence, you have to back it off, back it through, to wed do. All right, you understand the value of what I'm talking about. I understand that position too. So all heads have to be trig and rigged, and TB right, bright and rig height. Okay. That's the position we're finding ourselves in. The position also that we are finding ourselves in, which is different than the competitive marketplace, is how the ass is sought. So I've not met Rich or Sharon in person. So you want to talk about spirituality? Well, I think you're going to know which framework you're going to go to, right? I met Rich. I didn't meet Rich. I was thinking of trying to do some work with House Industries or having them do work with me, and he didn't return an email, so I sent another one, and I'm kind of like, I don't get this. So I questioned. It was all in the question. I did not pass a doft. I questioned, and I have been questioning since and revealing a circumstance that has been amiss. One of the values is the competitive marketplace. I can see is not manufacturing innocence, and in doing that, it can always cast toft to toot. It can always cast toft that he would add doft. Stupid person. Okay? If you're not actually manufacturing innocence, that you're manufacturing fear that you pass down in arrears, malfeasantly thinking that competition for no reason is origin versus completion even, it's very easy to facilitate pitch perfect We need these police officers. And we need people carrying guns instead of reason even. And they need funds, and we need to sell guns to that country over there so it can protect itself as well as we are, that we pass a DOF to be aware, everywhere, malfeasantly to repair. If you're going to put malfeasant me one eye on women to endow the war, you can also understand how it's easy for them to take off their clothing. You just give them some jacked off to too tough me one eye and give them enough and they'll take their clothes off for you. But we're not operating with your me one eye here. It's also one reason why I'm working on making Eve even money. I simply haven't got around to it yet, but I have gesticulated as much. Like I said before, my stall. The more that I parse and feel that it's needed for reward the head that I adored and am moored, even if it's just myself, to selt. S-E-L, salt, and sell, flavor, and favor, as-welled, then, so be it. Like I said, I only have time to work against the money I have in my behind, and I work in a lice clinic on call. Great. Great on one hand, in the sense of I have a phone to take lice appointments and have it jump through hoops for me because of the mistaken identity that Apple didn't actually bring. So we have extra ID protection and I have to jump through hoops to try and use my fucking phone as a fucking phone. Okay. Every fucking ding dong day, several times a day. Let me in! Okay. Not so bad on the other hand. Honestly, I get in a grumpy state of mind, but I go to work and I have to say most of the time, and even more so lately, I'm very appreciative of the clients because there seems to be some sort of hallowed space that's taking place in the communication. They're telling me about their dog, Annie, Doc, Birdie, Lady, you know what I mean? And I'm reading, and tell me about Lady. Lady she's different. She's unusual. She's very keen. You move a stake in the yard, she knows it. But so she's skittish because she notices when everything moves. But then she's also, how do they describe her? A bit of a punk, because like they'll call for her and she's like, no, don't hear you. Maybe a bit of a turd. So she's also the smallest of their dog pets. So, that was a conversation not too long ago, and I was listening avidly, relaxing into Meta now in terms of conversation of people I meet is speaking to me and is speaking to my framework and what I can see in it, and what I can see in it is what it's relating to me. T-O-M-E, T-O-M-B-E. It's working for me. I'm starting to sense as a scout, as a forerunner, as a way to read into the times. What am I missing here? Well, you're telling me about Lady. What about Annie? What about Doc? It's interesting. I, again, wish that I had a little tape recorder and I would have really wanted that person to tell me that story again. It all started with, well, we were going to get a dog, but we ended up getting 4. And this is the story of how we got 4 and their names. And it was great. I was like, there were so many layers, and it was a beautiful jumble of, a rambling road of discovery, where everything really was cogent and contingent at the same time. You know, it was just like, it's so perfectly placed and paced, you know. So it made time pass really well. I'll start that. I have not been able to sleep well lately. I'm like, I wake up, I'm way tired. I try and be productive because I have so many notes. I'm not actually giving myself slack, like go back to sleep. Trying to take a nap, even if I don't get called by a telemarketer that held my last phone number hostage. Interrupted today, trying to take a nap because I'm like, oh, I so need a nap. I could see I'm making so many editorial mistakes. I mean, it's one thing to have your own engineered parallax of a language, but if there's no continuity into it in it for a reason, then it's a bit much to ask anyone else to follow as a art. Okay, there's no continuity in it. We can't suspend belief if there's this gap of, hey, I fell asleep right there, and then there, and there, in terms of expression, and because I'm not sleeping there. The news says Jared Kushner registered to vote as a woman. Uh-oh. Is that real news or not? Jared Kushner is a woman. Well, that's true, at least according to records from the New York State Board of Elections. Wow, really? His gender's female? That's funny. And he's registered to vote in both New York and New Jersey. New Jersey lists Kushner's gender as unknown. Oh dear. Well, there's some irony here because the person who's writing this, which is John Haltewanger from Newsweek, he is 7 hours ago. He's saying that, where is it? That Kushner seems to struggle when it comes to filling out official forms. Newsweek reached out to Kushner for comment, but did not hear back by the time of the publication. Kushner has come under fire to properly disclose foreign contacts, including meetings he had with Russia. Let's see. He maintains he's not guilty of collusion. COL, that's your the lowest point between of the neck of two mountains. And blame the error on his staff. Well, of course you're going to do that because they're going in the same direction as he cast the hat. On top of this, it was also recently reported that Kushner has used a private email account for which Trump's major criticism of former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, he levied quite a pitch on that. In short, John Haltiwanger says, in short, whatever the reason for Kushner being listed as a woman in voter records, it adds to the narrative that he's incompetent and fails to follow proper procedures. This doesn't exactly inspire confidence in terms of his ability to advise the president. If Kushner can't fill out a simple form, should he really be offering guidance to Trump on complex matters like a push for peace in the Middle East? When it comes to politics, it has long been known that the small details often matter the most. What I have to say for that, while you are sussing and parsing some details, the overall picture is bullshit. Okay? You're parsing it to Dow with war. So you need to get over that abort that you would store and call it value when it's always going to be sore, because, and it's not going to be sore for you because you are character disordered, passing your incompetence. You're passing it on. You're passing it doff tone. Okay? If you really want to parse arse, you need to get your tin and time in hind and in thine. The person that's bringing the time on the line. At any given time, you can cast your stare and re-add it as you want to, here as well as there.